Welcome to the Crowned Medium, where Her Highness Lorenda Carr delivers intuitive clarity, messages from spirit, and tools to elevate your spiritual journey.
Good morning. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. We're just getting started. Oh, now Facebook's going. Welcome to the Crown Medium. I'm Lorenda Carr. I am on the tube and the face and the gram with my friend Dana. Dana, it has been so long since we've done this together.
Way too long. Way too long.
I know, we go way back. So tell everybody, like, first of all, you just made a big move, but
I did.
We'll jump into that. So tell people like who you are, what you do, how we got to be friends. Let's talk about it. Let's do the thing.
Okay. Well, we met online on this obscure little app. And it was funny because, and we were in it was a social media app, we were in there, had a little spiritual group, people getting to talk about cards and whatever. And so Lorenda comes, I meet Lorenda and we start chatting and we become friends. And then she leaves. And I said, what are you doing? She says, well, I think I was just there to find you. So I don't need it anymore. So then that's it. However, we just, it's things just happen the way they're supposed to happen. And so I don't think I'm in contact with anybody else there.
I'm not.
Since then, from that group, there were a few that I stayed in contact with for several years. But I agree with you. I think I was there to meet certain people, and you were certainly one of them. And then when we first met, I had not yet moved from Kansas City to the Caribbean. I think in the works probably at that point.
No, you had moved, I thought.
Had I already moved?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think you had just moved. It was brand new.
It feels like. So I went through a big life event, and as we do when we go through big life events, we make changes. And so I moved from Kansas City to a little island off the coast of Honduras, Roatan, for you scuba divers out there. And we continued our friendship, and it kind of went from there. We started kind of sharing, doing sign sessions. Those were so fun.
Those were so fun.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's kind of how we met and how this is carried on. And we just kind of, here we are 8 years later. I was on the island for 7. And then, I did just make a move, just coming up on 1 year. March 25th will be 1 year in southern Spain.
Has it been a whole year? March
25th, I got here. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, and I kind of, I still do all my stuff, but I've been doing it, in jits and jots, little bits, because moving and uprooting and changing and doing is a big thing.
Well, especially when it's like a whole different country.
Yeah. So I love it. I lived here before. I lived here 42 years ago. I moved here. I was here for almost 4 years right out of high school. And I came to visit my friend Abby, who had moved here. She's actually about an hour from me. And everybody goes, oh my gosh, you're going to move there. And at this point, I'd been on the island for about 6 years. And I said, no, I love it here. It's paradise. I'm not moving. I'm just going to visit Abby. And they go, no, you're going to move. I mean, everybody said, you're going to move. I said, no, I'm not going to move. So I get here. I come for 2 weeks. I get off the plane. I'm walking through the airport in Madrid. And I'm on the ground about 10 minutes. I'm like, God damn it. I got to go back and tell everybody that I'm moving. I knew. And then, so I spent 2 weeks, and then I got back to the island in April. That was 2024. and started working on making the move, got really serious about, I have to do research and all that, and ask 8,000 questions.
Right.
Started really getting serious about the move, had an attorney and all that kind of stuff. By September, November, December, I moved back to Houston, and I was in Houston until I left in March to come here. And I was in Houston because I needed to be near an embassy where I had. So we didn't think it was going to take quite that long, but yet.
Yeah, I remember it being a kind of a long trek for you. And then also, you have animals, so there was a whole thing
yes,
with that.
yeah,
engaging with you.
That was a big thing. I miss certain things about island life, but I left on a high note. I left when it was time. It was one of those decisions that you think, I really thought I was going to die on that island. That's what I wanted.
That was the end all be all right there.
Yeah. And but there are times when you really have to trust your intuition. And I'm still not real certain about what big grand things are supposed to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. So here we are.
I love it. Well, you know what? Maybe it doesn't mean it's supposed to be grand. Maybe it's just supposed to be that you live your life, you help people, you learn, your soul grows, you continue to heal. I mean, you had a big thing. You had a big thing.
I did. And I think you and I had talked about this before, that when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, things don't go very well for me. And I mean, in general, you survive, you thrive, you do your thing. But if I'm ignoring my intuition, if I'm not doing the coaching and the reading, the intuitive coaching and reading, if I'm not stepping out of my comfort zone to help people, and sometimes that's kind of what it takes. The people who need me don't always come to me. Sometimes I have to go to them. And that's way outside of my comfort zone. Yeah. And so it's been tricky. So even things that feel like normal day-to-day things to most people can feel very grand to me. So not overwhelming necessarily, but the littlest thing, like just suggesting a reading to somebody, or asking, giving somebody a little bit of free coaching. I don't like giving unsolicited advice. And
right.
So, but there are times where I find that I just can't keep it to myself. And quite often I come across people who are not open to intuitive gifts, but I still feel that thing in me, whatever it is that's happening, that says, because I'm a channeler. So the messages start coming and they will not leave me alone until I let that message out. And I'll dance around it. I'll write a blog, or I'll, kind of make little hints and suggestions during a conversation, and this and that and the other. But they just keep getting louder and pounding on me until I finally just do what I'm supposed to do. And so I am finally now rebuilding, restructuring Life Path Oracle and intuitive coaching, because now I am very far away and in a very different time zone, and that changes everything. So
yeah,
it's a renewal and a restart and a refresh, reassess, realign, and renew.
Right.
All over again. And I keep thinking, when am I going to be done with these startovers? When am I just going to finally be where I'm supposed to be? And the truth is,
never.
I think it's never. Yeah.
Never. So, if you want my unsolicited opinion, never. Because, but I also believe that even when people are like, I want to retire, I'm like, oh, you just don't. Okay, but what next? What next?
Yeah.
What next? I feel like there are people that check out, and I feel like you and I are those people that would never check out. We're just going to keep what's next. What's next?
Yeah.
What's going to help me grow next? What's going to inspire me next? How can I help other people next? So really, you're right. It'll never,
No,
the re's will never stop.
It's like centrifugal force,
Mhm.
It just keeps propelling. I have this little thing that I say all the time. It comes up in my coaching, it comes up in my readings, that fear can do one of two things. It can paralyze you or it can propel you. And as you know, and for those of you out there who don't know me, my whole premise is about physical, emotional, and spiritual balance. And once we get to a place where we feel comfortable, we actually find usually that we're out of balance, that there's something else, that this is leading to something else. And I don't have a whole lot of problems with letting go of the hows or the wins,
Right.
but I do get a little hung up sometimes on the whys. And then I have to remind myself, it doesn't matter why. I am moving in this direction and doing this thing and creating this space, both for myself and for other people, because I'm compelled to. And as long as I do that, none of that other stuff matters. I don't,
Right.
and I think that's the thing, people are so afraid to follow their intuition, listen to it, they don't trust it. And a lot of that, as a life coach, in life coach speak, we would say all of that comes from all those limited beliefs that were created very, very long time ago. And I was just having a conversation with somebody a couple of nights ago, another guy I met on the same forum that you and I did. In the very, very beginning, when I first joined, I met her. And we have kind of followed each other. We had very similar backgrounds. She's younger than me, but I was having this conversation with her and I said, once we understand where a certain thought pattern or behavior or limiting belief came from, it releases its power. It can't hold us anymore. And that's when we surge forward into new things. And a lot of times that's exactly what our intuition gives us. That's the gift it gives us. It gives us that understanding of knowing and understanding that we all have. We all have that gift, but then we get back to that thing. Well, what if I'm wrong? Those kinds of words come from someplace else, someone else, either someone else in your life at some point, or who you were before. And frankly, who we were yesterday doesn't even matter.
They don't exist anymore.
Now, so I remind myself of this, but when I was talking to this friend the other day, a couple of days ago, I said, when you start understanding where that comes from, you can let that go. And when you let that go, the chains are going to fall off of you. And that forward momentum is going to just, it's going to be overwhelming, because you're going to say, how is this possible? Doesn't matter how it's possible. It's where you're meant to be. It's who you're supposed to be.
Right.
So here we are. And I keep reminding myself of this as well.
Yes. And it does, but I feel like living the human experience, I do feel like we have to remind ourselves regularly. And something that I've been hung up on the telepathy tapes lately. And one of the episodes talking about not being attached to an outcome, like when an idea comes in, or you get the intuition, or you get this intuitive hit, you just do it. You act on it, because that's what it was sent to you for a reason, right? Yeah. So you act on it and you just do it, but you don't. And if it's an opportunity, you create it. If it's art, you create it. If it's a conversation, you have it. But you can't be attached to the outcome. You can't be attached to the what if. If it comes in, you honor it and you move on.
Yeah.
Which is no different than when I do readings, for goodness sake. I'm not attached to the outcome. Why can't I do that for my regular life? Why can't we do that as humans? Quit being so attached to the outcome. For you, you're like, I just knew I was going to move to Spain. Didn't know how that was going to work out, but here we are,
Yeah.
And so you're living your best life in Spain. And it has all worked out.
Yeah. It's funny, because people will say, well, what can you do in Spain that you can't do here? And I say, nothing.
Nothing.
It's not about that. It's not, I mean, to be fair, on the physical plane, the European lifestyle is such a good fit for me. I was like a European living in the jungle, until I realized that this is actually a real way of life, that it's not the things that were in me, in my bones, were normal
Right.
here. And I always looked a little quirky everywhere else I was. I fit in well in life on the island as well. But for the same reasons, though, they're very much live in the moment people. It's people just kind of take care of their business, and they love their animals, and they play with their kids, and they eat dinner when they feel like it, and they enjoy it. Meals are important here.
Yeah.
Just in general, I fit in here well. On an emotional level. I feel like I have untethered myself from the social norms. I was never good at trying to fit in where I was. I always just did my own thing,
Right.
But I got pushback from every direction, and I don't get pushback here. People are like, yeah, okay, cool,
Yeah,
and on a
yeah.
And then on a spiritual level, I just there's something about how it feels here. It just feels, it's not something that I can particularly describe, but there's no doubt, there's no hesitation, and that's in my spiritual coaching. That's exactly where I try to show people that despite the little bastard sitting on their should saying, was that your big idea? Despite all of that, we all have a place where we are going to expand and grow and flourish and bloom into things that are unbelievable to us. And I think for me, being here on a spiritual level, it's like I trusted that, and here I am, and the sky didn't fall, which gives me courage to do that again. And it's tricky because I think sometimes we don't realize that we're leading in fear. We think we're being, we're being, practical or reasonable or mature. But when we step back, if we step back and really take a look at what we do and realize how many of our decisions are influenced by our parents, our families, our friends, social media, just the community we live in, all of those things, we would really, I think we'd all have some kind of an existential crisis because we'd really wonder who we are.
Right. Yeah. I keep telling my husband, we need to not just go on vacation out of the country. We need to go live in Europe for a while. We need to go experience, because like you, when I'm elsewhere, I'm home in Europe. It feels comfortable. My body feels good. My mind, body, spirit are balanced. And when I come back, it feels panic. It feels heavy. But my husband is so wrapped in the fear of the unknown that he just stays with what he knows every day. He eats the same breakfast every day, because what if we had something different and things didn't go the same? He's just so focused on doing everything the same. But you know what? It's worked for him so far. He is successful.
Yeah.
I am the chaos. I am.
I think to be fair to our male counterparts, they have a whole different social construct that they have to fight through in order to be a little chaotic. They have the societal pressure that we have, whether it's family or friends or what we see on TV or whatever, is a smaller world. it comes in every direction from him, including from us. A lot of the men that I work with will tell me the same thing. The people that judge them the hardest are the women closest to them in their lives, their mothers, their wives, their daughters. And their expectations are sometimes overwhelming. And so I understand exactly where Mr. Carr is coming from.
Yep.
And I think what you said is key. It's worked so far. And the fact that it has functioned well, and he's been able to support himself, support his family, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It is risky. It was risky to me. It didn't feel risky to me because I'm a little more like you,
Right. The reason
Yeah.
Right.
But I get it. I understand where he's coming from.
Well, I think when that norm or that expectation is, to provide and to stay healthy and do all the things and do everything, but when certain steps, and we're in our 50s. So like he's kind of set in his ways that way. Yeah. And I do challenge him to step out of that comfort zone sometimes. And I think it's important that this is not where I want to do. If I'm going to live to be 90, which looking at our family histories, highly possible we both live to be 90 and further. Well, do I really want to do the same routine for the next 40 years? Do I want to be the same place, do the same exact thing for the next 40 years? I don't even like doing the same schedule like weekly. What makes you think that I'm going to want to do the same thing for 40 years? But going back to, just understand the psychology of it and just learning to let go and not be so attached to an outcome. That to me is true soul growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also, in respect to your situation and wanting to live in Europe for a while and that sort of thing, what's meant for you? I mean, if it's yours, it's yours. Who's to say that at some point he's not going to all of a sudden get the pressure is going to let off at some point. And then, so, you never know. And in most of the Ascension countries, you can come and stay for, you can be here for 3 months, which is a substantial amount of time to really see what life is like in a place. It's much better. Vacationing in a place for a week or two is not what life is like anywhere, because Correct. You're doing I didn't do vacation-y stuff in the places where I lived. I did vacation-y stuff elsewhere. I had no idea all the fun stuff there was to do in Kansas City until I moved. And I thought, why didn't I ever do that? I had my sights elsewhere.
Yeah. We always want what we don't have, first and foremost. I think we're always looking like, what is it that's out there that I'm missing?
Yeah.
And we often do have opportunities right here in our own backyards.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done a lot of Indianapolis things though, so I might be ready to move on from that.
Yeah.
54 years in the same place. I think I might have tapped into pretty much almost everything.
Well, yeah. You never know, because there's always something else new coming up. But
that's true. That's true.
I find that my friends that used to come to the island for more than a week or two, they'd come for a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, or where they live there part of the year and that sort of thing, really learn to appreciate home more by being away from it. They loved where they were. They loved being on the island. They loved the scuba diving and the not having to wear shoes and the summer all year round climate and, all the things and the friendly people and the living day to day kind of thing. They loved it. But then they got home to their structure and they had a whole new appreciation for it. So sometimes being abroad or doing something different doesn't actually look the way we think it's going to look. It doesn't, no, you don't have to do what I do and just pack all your stuff and put your dogs in crates and go somewhere else. We can, there's all kinds of ways to experience life in meaningful ways. I don't want anybody to think that I'm promoting you just move to another country away from everything you know and everyone you know. But if it's for you, no, it's not. But if it is something that you've always wanted to do, I highly encourage people doing it. If nothing else, it's going to shake off the dust.
Right. Yeah. He and I had talked about just spending, even as a baby step, just spending summers elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Even if that's in the United States, maybe out on the West Coast, or maybe we do a little jaunt over to Portugal. Maybe we go check out, I go live in Paris for 3 months.
I can come, you come to Paris for 3 months and I'll come have lunch with you because I can do a day trip to Paris from where I am. Amazing. I know.
I love that. And I think that's what's the appeal to me too, just on a personal level, is like, if I go to Europe, I can take a train anywhere. We've experienced that. You can take a train anywhere. It's an easy flight or an easy train ride to go experience life. And I see it as, for someone like myself, I don't know, it fills some part of my soul that is a traveler. It is that it's just the person who's always curious. So yeah, maybe I would end up coming right back to Indiana being like, yeah, it's not so bad. I don't know.
I know about Indiana winters. If I were you, I'd be somewhere else in the wintertime.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel like, excuse me. I'm like, what part of this are we not computing? Every time we complain about the cold, I'm like, there's warm places we could go.
I'll tell you this. I just spent 7 years in the tropics. Mm-hmm. And I moved here. And it's gotten down to 48 overnight.
Yeah.
I am wrapped in 3 layers of clothes, blankets, a big fluffy robe. I got a hood. I'm wearing my hat. I said, where are my gloves? I am freezing. And I have so many friends from Canada and Indiana and the East Coast and others and Kansas has real winters as well. And I have so many friends in these places where they've got 12 feet of snow and they got all this wind and it's 45 below and and I'm sitting over here and it's 50 degrees and I'm shivering.
Right.
But it's perspective, it's what you get used to. However, the good news is all of my friends that are miserable in this summer and they're dying, it could be 110 degrees in the shade. And it's not that I don't get hot. It's that I am not uncomfortable when I'm hot.
I'm not either.
So it's I got stuff popping up on my screen. So it's all about, figuring it out. You just got to figure out where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, and then just do it.
And then do it. I think that's where I was like circling back to how we got on this topic. It's just when you get the urge, when you get the feeling, when you get that idea come into your head, or when it flows through, quit being so attached to the outcome.
Yeah.
It's just stepping into that energy of, what could go wrong?
Well, and what if, I love that. That's one of the exercises I use when I'm coaching with people is the what if. And it's the what if, they go, well, what if something goes wrong? So what if, well, what if? So what happens? So it doesn't go, what if you move to Spain and it's not the place you want to be? I got a whole world to choose from. I just go somewhere else. I've done it before. But what if it goes right? What if you go there? So say I come here and I live here for 2 years and I have this amazing thing, called life that I'm doing. And then all of a sudden I get a hankering to go somewhere else. Okay. I mean, I didn't come here with the idea that I was going to be going anywhere else, but I love that what if thing. And when we start asking that question and actually, rather than sitting around and mulling around and thinking, well, what if, and letting that stop us, that fear propel or paralyze us, write it down. Write down. What if this happens? Okay, but what if this happens? Well, because if we start really being realistic about the bad what ifs, the cons, the things that could go wrong, you just say, what if again? And you realize it's not that big of a deal. Well, what if I move to Spain and I don't like it? I don't have to stay here. Well, what if I try that thing and I don't like it? Then you don't have to do it again, but you've had the experience. I have a friend who travels a lot and he eats everything. I mean, he'll eat bugs. I don't think he eats live fish. I don't think he's done that yet, but I mean, he's gone to all these places and, Asia and everywhere. I think he's in New Zealand right now, but, whatever the local cuisine is, the little street vendors and stuff, he puts that shit in his mouth. And I thought, listen, I'm not eating anything if I can't smell it or if I can't identify it. If I don't like the smell, if I can't identify it, I'm not eating it.
Right.
Ew. He does. Let me tell you something. He's the happiest man I know.
Then you know what? Good for him. Good for him. And going back to your what ifs, so what if you do something, but also what if you don't?
Yeah.
What if you turn away an opportunity? What if you ignore something that comes in that you're inspired to do? What if you don't change? What if you just stay where you are?
Yeah. I love it when that question comes up. I say, oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. What if you don't ever experience anything? What if you stay in your house because you're afraid? Yeah. What if you don't go to lunch with that person? For all you know, if you don't go, then maybe your house burns down that day. I don't know, because you were there, because you know what I mean? Instead of living in the fear of what if I tried something outside of the box, I live more in the fear of what if I don't?
Yeah. Yeah. What if it doesn't work out? But what if it does?
Oh, what if it does? Then what?
I love that question. And it's funny. Whether I'm reading cards, and actually, I read cards with my coaching as well.
Yeah.
Because it tends to steer the conversation because it's an intuitive coaching thing. That's what I do. But what I find exciting about it is that I learn something with every reading that I do as well. And these same things, I'll be talking to somebody, I'll be sitting around having a day, and then I be doing a reading for somebody or having a coaching session, and they say, what if? And then we start talking about it. And when that thing is over, my problem's been solved too. So I think we really need to let go of those expectations and just do the thing.
Just do the thing. Right. Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm just so thankful that we've reconnected. It's just like one of those weird, it's like a sisterhood, I think. We've just always gotten along. We've always been comfortable having this banter, but I think that goes back to, we are in alignment that way, in that belief system of just kind of go with it. Quit trying to control the narrative on everything. If spirit, I look at it as spirit comes in and says, hey, I have an idea. You should try this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, every time my husband's like, should you? And also,
but I think those the people of chaos need someone who's grounded in that way. And I think those people who are very grounded and very structured also benefit from a little bit of chaos. I think it creates a balance there. You have to wonder how much your husband has done and experienced and created just by virtue of being attached to you. And there's probably plenty of times where he's protected you from things unseen, plenty of times, by saying, wait, let's think about it. That little hesitation sometimes is a gift. And so it's and I think it's that same thing with our friends, with our social circle as well.
I think it is important to have that balance. And I have said that numerous times about Matt, Mr. Carr, he's the one that has enabled me to live this lifestyle and be chaos.
Yeah.
Because because his consistency to show up, his diligence to do the work, his focus, his ability to be like, no, we have to be consistent. His ability to do that has enabled me to be like, but what if we did this over here? La, 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 la.
Yeah.
So it's a good balance.
I think it's that way with friendships, with business relationships, it's all the things. We connect with people who allow us best, I think, to be ourselves. From the moment you and I met, I never had a feeling of, oh, I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm just gonna keep it low. I'm gonna be kind of calm right now. I don't have to show her my whole deck all at once, kind of a thing. I've never felt that. I felt with you from the minute we met that I was very safe in being honest with you about who I am. And I was going through some big stuff when we met.
You were, because that was hot off the presses, your situation.
Yeah. And so I was in a place where being my most authentic self wasn't particularly safe. It made people uncomfortable. It made them question my sanity. Which they may have been doing all along. I don't know. But right. I was in this vulnerable place, and to come across, and I came across several people during that time that I think were sent to me in order to allow me to do that, because that big life event changed everything. And not only was it hard to be myself, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what was going to happen. It was one of those things where the universe pulls the rug out from under you, and you're supposed to say, hold my beer. And
right.
I wasn't ready for that.
But instead you lay on the floor and go, what the heck just happened right now? I can't see straight, and I have I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine. And that wasn't just a throw rug. That was we're going to rip out this carpet and the foundation from underneath you.
Yeah. The world kind of fell off its axis for me for a minute, and it felt bigger than me. And I think that's where what we do as spiritual coaches and things really find a place to be of use, even when we're not at our best. Not only that, but my spiritual gifts, which have been, they were evident even as a child. However, I didn't know what that was because I didn't have anybody around me to do that. I didn't recognize it until later, but my spiritual gifts exploded at that time because I was so emotionally vulnerable. The chaos and the trauma knocked everything else out of the way. And I was in this perfect place for things to become more evident, I guess. And so that was, on top of the big life event, I had all this other weird stuff happening. I'm seeing things that aren't there and hearing things, right. and meeting people for the first time in my life. I was not meeting people just who appreciated my gifts. I was meeting people who shared my gifts or had other gifts that were, a big mystery to me. And the exposure was painful, but dang, it was like,
I do remember those early days of us like working together and pulling the cards and just putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And it was the same for me because I was still early. You have been around for my stepping into and owning it journey.
Yes. Yeah.
From almost the beginning.
Yeah.
Like you've been there since not too long after that. I'd say more than half of my journey. And even then, like those first stages, I was just doing cards and not even really stepping into the mediumship part of it. I was just doing cards and doing intuitive stuff, not realizing what I was getting or why I was getting it. And I think that you and I were aligned because we were both kind of coming online in a similar way.
Yeah.
Because then remember those days of like we would pull cards and we would just be like, yep.
Yeah.
Like we were those people, but it worked. Oh my gosh. Like it was mind-blowing how we aligned. And I don't think that that's an accident in any way, shape, or form. An accident.
Yeah. You were my strength in numbers. I had already been reading cards, but quietly, very quietly. I would go to people in private and say, listen, I don't know how I feel about this or anything like that, but I could, there's something I could do if you're kind of open to it. And I was I was such a mouse about it. I was passionate about it. But I was, and I just love the cards. Between the cards and you, that was my strength in numbers that I needed to say, well, if I commit to it to somebody else, I'll do it. And well, if Lorenda can do it, I can do it. And I feel really safe with you. And that was the catalyst for me, really. And I don't need cards to read, but I have this weird emotional connection to them. And, but also they kind of calm down and give structure to the chaos that's going on in here, because the messages just come very quickly and I can't always make sense of them. But the minute I see an image on a card or I think about what's going on in and around the card next to it, this card and that card. And if I put these two together, the meaning completely changes in those things. And it just added some structure that I didn't have. And now I just love my cards. If I ignore them for too long, they fuss at me too. They let me know.
Yeah. But think about how much energy you put into those cards, right?
Yeah.
You put the love and the energy into them, and there's an energy exchange, and that's been your main print material or your main voice, or blackboard. You could consider a blackboard. I always thought the cards were never for me. They were for once I understand. You're right. I don't need cards either, but sometimes the sitter does.
Yeah.
Sometimes someone else needs to. Like, okay, well, that's so weird because I know I was talking about you starting a new job and look what card just came up.
Yeah.
That's so weird, right?
Yeah. So, and one of the things that I do, and I tell people all the time, I say, everybody's readings are different. Everybody's looks different. And I've had so many people tell me, I've had readings before, but none of them like this. This is different. And I'm thinking, I don't think my readings are that unusual. I think they're very straightforward. But
until you watch other people.
Yeah. But I always start beginning immediately. They sit down and they want to ask a question. And I go, wait. Let me pull some cards on dominant energy first. Let's kind of get a feel for what's going on. We'll do that. Let's kind of see where we are, see what comes up. And then I'll let you know it's time. And what happens is, and I don't pretend to understand it completely, but 9 times out of 10, when I read for somebody first, and I say, okay, so how do you feel? Do you have any questions about these? Where would you like this discussion to go? Whatever we're talking about. And I'll say, well, yeah. And they always will say, well, I had some questions written down, but you've actually already answered them. Now, here's the thing. If I can answer your question without you having to ask it, you're going to believe that message a lot better. There are times, and I have clients that come, they want to have a reading every week or every month or whatever. And then we skip this. So what are we talking about today? And I'll let them say, well, I want to talk a little bit more about this thing with my career that we talked about last time. Now, first of all, I don't remember that reading. When that reading is done, it is gone. If they call me and say, hey, you pulled that one card with the little fox and the moon. I know what card that is. I could probably bring something up, to them, but I don't remember that reading. And I tell them that. I said, you need to write it down. You need to take notes. You need to think about it. You need to go back and listen to it again, because I am not going to remember this for you because this is yours. This is not mine. But when I started having people say, well, you've already answered my question, or that was really cool. And thank you for that because it felt honest, but I'm not scared. which is, another thing I saw. Speaking of, you just did a video. I'm guessing it was on Instagram. I never know where I am. Little videos pop up and I respond to it. But you had done one where you had seen another person do reading and say something, and you were talking about the ethical qualities of that reading. Right. I don't know who you were talking about, but I tell people all the time, I see that frequently, and people say, well, I don't want to get my cards because I'm afraid the last time they told me all these bad things. That's not what my readings look like. Mm-mm. But I think
I will vouch for that 100%.
I will tell people, to listen, you may get a card that on the surface looks bad to you, but I cannot stress enough, there's no such thing as a bad card. You get the Tower card in tarot, and you got a tower, and there's people falling out, and it's on fire, and it's flames, and and it's all these horrible things happening. But when you step back and look at it, you remember something that happened to you that seemed traumatic, and that happened many years ago, for example. And at the time, it felt like the world was coming to an end. You look back at it now and you go, well, it felt like it, but it didn't. And I feel like it's my responsibility, if I'm going to give you a card like the Tower, listen, things are about to go a little south, maybe not exactly the way you expected, but I'm never going to leave you hanging there. That shit's going to about to get real, and it sucks to be you, and let it go.
Right.
My job then is to give people the guidance. And so listen, if you respond in this way, these are some of the things you can expect. If you respond in this way, if you choose this path, if you choose that path, here's the things. Where do you feel that you should be? How do you want to move forward? Do you want to move forward with you can move forward by staying where you are. You can be paralyzed, or you can be propelled into the next place. Mm-hmm. But anybody that sits down and says, and I had somebody in a social forum said, I don't believe readers that only give good news. And I thought, really? Because you get on my free feeds all the time.
Right.
But if I could give a message to people who don't really understand, or are just kind of coming into their spiritual path and their spiritual journey, is that Spirit is not going to say, hold my beer and watch this and watch you struggle. We have choices, and all the choices we make, there's really no such thing as a bad choice. Sometimes this path might be a little rockier, and you're going to learn some lessons there, but you're still going to come out of it. You're still going to come out of it. And if you choose this path, it may take you longer to get where you're going, but you're going to have some glorious things happen on the way. You may learn to be mindful. You may learn to let go of some old hurts. You may learn what forgiveness really means. You may learn that you have some gifts of your own. And that's the message that I want to send to people. So to those people out there who think that if you only give good news that you're a liar and you're a fake, you've been talking to the wrong people. You're talking to, and those people, that lady that you were talking about, and again, I don't know who that is. She may be exactly what some people need. She may communicate in a way that only they can understand. And so not everybody's going to want that.
And I recognize that too, that if people will align with that energy, like you're going to be drawn to, a like attracts like.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's because you need to see a different perspective, but also, my job I don't say it's my job, but my mission is to at least educate people. Like, if you see that, don't feel like that's the norm. Yeah. Don't feel, watch. How does it feel? How does it sit with you? Probably not good. Because that same person also goes on and on to be like, see, I was right. I told you I was right. I am the best. I am the greatest. Those are the things that this person says, and she blames and shames. I've seen her before, and if you go into her live and if you are any kind of practitioner at all in your name, she immediately blocks. So it's a whole thing. That one little thing of a predicting an upcoming demise was just a tip of the iceberg for this chick. But you know what? I'm still never going to say her name because I don't want people going to watch her.
Yeah.
I'm still never going to bring attention to it. But I'm going to tell people that if you watch that, don't feel like that's what the rest of us do. I am very much you know what? Sometimes we make the wrong turn in a GPS, even when the thing's saying, turn right now. U-turn at the next stop sign.
Rerouting.
That rerouting thing. Eventually, you know what? You do get to go where we're going.
Yeah.
In the meantime, maybe we just see a different view.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a different experience. You know?
Yeah. I traded readings with somebody one time, which I like to do. I like getting readings from other people, but I traded readings.
To do that all the time.
Yeah. You know what? It reminds me, you said one time that I had given you a reading and that it was every bit as good as the reading you got from John Edwards. And that is absolutely the highest compliment I have ever gotten. Mm-hmm. And I still remember that when I think about after a reading, I think, oh gosh, did I serve that person well? Did I, was I there? And I'm pretty good at hyper focusing. So I don't, I could give you a reading in the middle of a football stadium in the middle of a halftime show and not be distracted by that, just because it's just kind of how it works for me. But there are times when I think, and I think sometimes that's a little residual energy. I'm still feeling a little bit of their confusion or their, whatever their trauma is, their chaos is. And then I remember that, and I remember so many conversations that we had about what we appreciated about each other and that kind of thing. And I think, and that always comes back to me if I'm having those little, it's that little gremlin on your shoulder again saying, right. And I remember that I always give my best. That's all I can do as a reader, as an intuitive, as a coach, and as a friend, is I can do my best. Sometimes it's what you need and sometimes it isn't. It doesn't mean there's no value to it. I kind of like it when people get readings from other people because it either builds or it shows them kind of what they need. And I don't want to be sitting in this chair reading for people who need something else. I think my gifts are very, very directed and very pointed in certain directions. And if I stay true to that and doing the things that I'm supposed to do, then not everybody's going to want to sit across the table from me or on the other side of the screen. And that's perfect because there's somebody out there for them. And the ones who do come, then I get to serve my purpose. So.
Yeah. I think that sometimes it takes more than one person to drive home a point. And I fully believe that spirit will put people in front of me that maybe I don't align with, to either one, for me to learn a lesson, and or for them to have a different perspective that maybe they weren't expecting, and make them uncomfortable, or make them in a place of questioning where it forces them to go a different direction, because maybe there is someone else that needed to give them the bigger message, but they needed to hear this first. That goes back to circling all the way back to the beginning of our conversation of allowing and not being attached to the outcome.
Yeah.
Because maybe, I can give the message, but that person's not going to hear it. Maybe they're not ready to hear it, but maybe I am just one tiny piece in their giant puzzle. I am not the whole puzzle.
Yeah.
I'm not the final piece. Maybe I'm just that first corner.
Yeah. I was teaching someone a while back how to read cards, and we'd gone through all the preliminary things, look at the images, pull them out, read the book. And I'm a big proponent of reading the book that comes with the cards, because one, because
The
we
artist
don't have
had
to take, well, the person that did it, and
Mhm.
I'm speaking from experience for both of us,
Yes.
that was a lot of work. But also what I've discovered when I'm reading for myself, which I do some, a lot of times there could be 3 paragraphs in that book about a card. And then there's one sentence in there
This
that
stands.
it's like, oh my gosh.
It's the
There's
neon lights.
question. Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is the phrase. This is the phrase. I'm with you. I'm with you. I get it.
Yeah. And so, but I was, when we were talking about that, I said, listen, you take what resonates, you take what's useful, you take what means something to you, and you let the rest of it go. You don't have to forget it, because you might want it later. But right now, I might say 20 things to you, and there might be one thing in there that really is just what you needed to hear. And I love that that's how it works. And this gal that I was teaching, she said that didn't even occur to me. But then we were getting into, well, how does it change? What's the difference when you have 2 cards laying side? Why does that change? I mean, how does that work? And then and then we started getting into that, and then it started getting really fun. And she was getting so excited. And then one day she stopped and she says, "Can you just give me a reading today?" I said, yes, I can.
Sure can.
So, but, and I love teaching, but mostly I feel like card reading is my passion piece.
That's your jam right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your gig.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you inspire and you deliver the message, but you also honor your intuition. So yeah, you might pull out the book, but also I've watched you in real time do both.
Yeah.
I just, because we've read together so many times, but you honor, and if you hear or you get that intuition, you're like, well, I know what this means, but I feel like I need to look at the book. There's another meaning in here that I know I need to look up, and then you're not afraid to be like, please hold, I want to check this out.
Yeah.
You know?
I do that more for reverse cards than I do. I don't pull the book out as often as I used to, because I have my, because I've become very, I've become kind of fearless in that way. But if I hit a card, there'll be a card. I was doing a reading maybe a week ago, and I got a card in reverse. Then it was in my Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and I had never, ever, that I could remember, had that particular card come out in reverse. And I thought, what the hell? So I said, hold on just a second. I said, I got to go see what's going on here. And like in my deck, the one that I did, if a card comes in reverse, it just means you need to put a little more focus there. But in this one, sometimes the meaning is just the opposite, and other times it's completely different. And I don't even remember now what card it was. I was so stunned that it came out in reverse. But I've discovered that people don't seem to mind. I've been a hairdresser for 43 years, and I have always told, whether I was training or whatever, with people there as well, they're not offended by you being honest. And I say, so they ask you, what can I do about this? I go, I don't know.
I really don't.
I don't know what to do. But the same thing works there. People appreciate, and they can sense and they can feel the honesty and the authenticity. And so they don't care if I pull out the book. They just don't seem to care. Now, I have seen people on I don't know, on the gram or TikTok or wherever, where they pull out the card and then they just read the book to you. And there are still people say, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I needed to hear. And so we get a little caught up sometimes on delivery, I think, where I really just, when I'm just having a good time and I'm just so grateful that you're here, let me pull a card. So it's it is what it is. It's like living in Spain has this feeling that I don't have words for. Not all feelings have words, and I have the same thing with the reading. But make no mistake, I'll pull that book out if I need to.
And especially when, like for instance, I have a fairly new deck that I'm still getting to know. They're not a typical Oracle deck. And I want to know like what these are original art. You can tell they weren't done on AI. Someone did watercolor painting for these. Someone put thought and energy into it. They only have one word on them. So I'm going to pull out that book and be like, I want to know what the artist meant. What did the creator mean by this message? I'm not afraid to pull out the book. Now,
I find that they all have their own language as well. Like I have probably half a dozen decks of Colette Baron Reed's cards, and I adore her, and I love her cards because they speak my language. And what I discovered is once I learned one deck really well, the next one came easier because her decks, even though they all have very different subjects and different meanings and different themes, there's still a language in there that you just get. I have a couple of new decks, and one of them is a whole system. And I thought, how the hell am I going to learn this? Because in order for me to learn this whole system, I'm going to have to let everything else sit aside and just use this deck and the companion book, not the guidebook that comes with cards, but the companion book that goes with it. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is a lot. But it's a whole system. And so I hadn't taken the time to do it because I have my card. I mean, I have my cards. I have cards. Look at all these cards up here. Can you see them?
Oh, I know. I got a whole cabinet back here of them. Giant drawers that pull out. Oh yeah, I feel it.
So my bestie sis Carla, she has gotten me lots of decks, and she somehow always picks decks that I connect with. And so she was here. And she brought me a couple of days like, oh my gosh, I was so excited. And I've been playing with those. But typically what I allow myself to do is I use my standards that I've been using for a long time. And I bring one new deck in until I kind of start getting used to it and learning it. So now I have 70 decks or so. And I saw a girl online on YouTube, and my 70 decks looked like
nothing.
I could not believe how many decks of cards she had. I was so envious. I thought, I want to go sit in that room.
But also, how do you know which one to use? Like, I've got a lot of decks. However, I've got a number of friends who are card readers, and they've got hundreds of decks. And I'm like, no.
I probably have. I might have 10 decks that I bought because they were cool. I liked the art, or not because I necessarily felt a connection to them or wanted to read with them, but because I liked them. And I'll play with them sometimes and pull them out sometimes. But they're like, one is a Jane Austen, and it's called the Jane Austen Tarot deck, but it's not 78 cards. It's not a major arcana, and it's none of that. But it's cool. It's fun. And if I was sitting here hanging out with somebody that likes all the Jane Austen movies, and we were watching Pride and Prejudice for the 15th time, I might pull that deck out and play with it. But that's just part of me. But I got 60 decks up there that I use a lot. But how do you use 500 decks?
I don't even know.
I think it would be glorious. If I had a place to put them, I'd be so excited.
So my friend Ladora says, but do you have the Dancing Spirit Oracle deck?
Yes, I do. I do. I bought it like a regular customer. I got online and ordered it and everything without telling you about it. And then you said, oh, hey.
I know. I would have sent you one.
Yeah, I know. You sent me a message. You just said, you bought mine. I did.
Aw.
I want to be part of the team.
And you know what I love? I love that my deck is sitting right here, and this is the card that's facing me as experience, and that just screams you to me. Packing your stuff and going across the world to experience something new, and still be who you are in that other place. And still doing all the things that I know you to do.
To be fair. A lot of people say that I'm brave. It's not bravery for me. It's if I have to give it a word, it's faith. It just doesn't occur to me that shit could go south, And if it does, then something else is going to work out. The sun's going to rise tomorrow, whether I want it to or not.
True.
And so it just doesn't occur to me. I don't have that. I don't have that What if something bad happens wired into me? It's actually something that I kind of have to be cognitive of when I'm doing readings. Because for some people, that's a very, very real thing. And in order for me to give them something meaningful, I have to really understand where they're coming from. So sometimes I have to consider that. But in my day-to-day, everyday, just the world about me, Dana's life kind of a thing, it just doesn't occur to me that something bad might happen.
Yeah.
That's not to say that I don't worry about things, but
there is a difference. There's a difference between like living in that fear and going, I feel like that intuition coming in tell me I should not maybe go do something today. That's not living in fear. That's honoring the feeling that you're getting.
Yeah.
Of like, maybe not that way. Yeah.
Maybe I should think about this. What's funny for me is my ability to procrastinate pops up without me triggering. It pops up and it always ends up being a good thing, because I was ready to dive into the deep end on all kinds of things, and something distracted me, or something over here happened that made me have to stop thinking about that for a little while. Then when I go back to it, and then the timing is right, and every time I marvel every day, really, that things, I need to quit worrying about the things that I do. I worry about very few things, but I worry big about those things. So I'm a work in progress, as we all are, right?
We all are a work in progress.
Yeah.
Well, I think it will be fun, because we haven't done this in so long. I think we should do some readings, which has been the plan all along.
Let's do it.
You know what's funny is I just opened up my cabinet the other day. Let me go out, because you inspired me at one point. Keep them in. I'm trying to remember which fun little bag I have your cards in. I put yours in a special. Is it? Nope. I thought I had them in the OG bag, but I guess I don't. Where are they? Daggone it! I just pulled them out the other day. Now I can work them. Oh, here we go, baby. I was gonna show off your OG deck that you did.
Oh.
I wonder if I pulled them out and took them upstairs or something, because I'm like, why aren't they here? They're always here. They're literally right here. Yeah.
Always right where we're looking, right?
Always. They were literally right in front of me. So I have the original print. Remember?
You do.
Your test.
Yeah.
The
test. Yeah.
And I think, and then now the artwork's that Angie had done all on there, but
I did change a little bit of the art, so that she actually had some pictures that she had never sent me, and I said, what? And she thought that I just didn't want to use them, and we found out just through a conversation that that I didn't have all the art. So then when I was fixing the things we found in our test print and that sort of thing, I went in and added some new art. I think actually this one, the loyalty card, is on the bottom, and I think this is one of the new ones.
Oh yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, there were some that were really, I thought they were so perfect. The affirmations was another one. I think that was a different one.
Yeah, I don't think I have Oh no, I do. I have affirmations.
Yeah. Let me see that one. On that one? Yeah, see, this is what it looks like now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So there are a few changes. And I have 2 companion decks to go with this, but I haven't printed them.
We're getting on that.
Well, I knew that this first year in Spain was going to be the settling in and the coming up of things. And so, which is why I had said at the beginning, I was kind of in this middle of this reassess, realign, and renew kind of thing. So I'm at a point now where I can go get back into the other things that are going to support this for me. So,
Yeah.
okay, so let's do a reading.
Let's do some. All right. So first of all, if anybody has any questions for Dana, we'd love for you to drop those questions. Are you able to see the comments?
No, I don't see anything.
Oh, if you go to the right of your screen that should say like comment, there should be a button.
Let me
on the
see.
screen.
Oh, you are right.
It should be, I was
Comments.
like, I wonder if they can't see comments. So we've got.
Oh, I do. I have comments. I've been
Yay!
talking all this time and I haven't seen any of these.
Because Abby's in here, or she was, and then it looks like Alicia. Yeah, we got quite a few people in here.
Yeah.
And commenting. So if you guys have questions about Dana's life in Spain, or as a life coach, feel free to like ask those questions, or if you got questions about her, whatever. If she doesn't want to answer them, she won't.
Yeah.
But also, if you'd like to be considered to experience one of these readings. I've missed reading with you. Oh, this is going to be so fun.
I know. It was pretty magical. It was magical when we were doing it.
I know.
On the regular.
I know. Well, and sign the little logo and everything. That was all when we first started. That was the three of us getting started in our journey. And I still liked, even though things didn't work out with our friend, I still like to pay homage to her. But she was still a huge part of the journey.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Yeah.
And made me look at myself in different ways and challenged,
Yeah.
all the things.
Some things are for a season and some things are for.
I agree.
Everything.
So I think I'm going to use my tarot. What decks are you using today? What are you using?
Well, I just couldn't decide, so I pulled down a bunch. I have 3 in front of me right now. I have the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I have the what the hell? Enchanted Map. I always call this Map Quest. I've called it Map Quest since I got it. Talk about
I love that
golden
one.
only. That one again, and then I have mine.
Yeah.
So, but then I have all of these too. So,
Like, and this one,
and there's some more up there.
Yep. I've got mine, yours, and then my dragon deck. I love my dragon deck.
I don't have a dragon deck, but it's on my wish list, and I have yours up there. I was going to pull it down, but then I thought you're going to have yours, so I thought, well, I can get to it, but
all good. All right. So if you would like to be considered, and we're going to go, I've got the TikTok pulled up too, so we might be reading that they'll be able to hear us. But you guys can also go over to the book of the pictures and see us live on those, or the gram of the Instas. Let's see, what emoji should we have? What emoji could we have people do? Oh wait, I have an idea. What about on the phone emojis? There's a dancer that looks like she's a flamenco dancer.
Oh, there is a flamenco dancer, yeah.
So let's do the dancing person. The
señorita flamenca.
Yes. So drop the dancing lady, the Spanish dancing lady emoji in the chat. All right. Oh yeah, we got them coming up. All right, here we go.
Right. Yeah, Map Quest. So he says Map Quest hitting. Yep.
Yes. All right, so we've got all the things. So I'm going to let you choose which we're going to bounce from platform to platform. So you tell me, do we do TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube first?
Wow.
I'll let you pick one. We're on all the things.
You want me to pick one?
Yeah, pick a platform, and then we're gonna.
Let's start with Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. All right, Facebook people. Drop your emojis. Oh, there's another. My friend Michelle's in the chat. She's the one that got me the dragon deck, and she made my merch for my. Do you want fries with that? And she owns more cards than you, me, and everybody combined. She has more cards than anybody I know. All right, here we go.
We've got lots of little dancers over here.
I know. They're all so. I'm going to choose in the count of 5. Go ahead and spam away with your dancing lady emojis, and I'm going to choose the first name I see on Facebook in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's going to be Michelle? Because it's Michelle. She's got like a million. She was on it, man. All right. You want me to? You know what? How about I pick a tarot? I'll do a tarot. Then you jump in with your oracle. How's that?
Okay, perfect.
Well, oh man, I can't wait till we get back in our flow. All right, Michelle, you got the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords comes up for you. And that tells me a new beginning, but also a recognition of that you are not your past. There's this feeling of you recognize and honor who you are, but it doesn't have to define you. And you're getting in your thinking mind a lot as well. What do you have along with that, Dana?
Oh, come on. Right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate.
Wisdom of the World, we got regeneration. And this card is so cool. You see all this stuff down here. You see molten rock and just crap, just the crabbage, right? But then somehow life finds a way. And it just out of the rubble, it's like the phoenix rising. So it goes so perfectly with this regeneration. This is the time that things that you've been working on and growing from are starting to fall away. The resolution is coming. You're moving into a whole new place of perspective, and things start falling into place. And some of the things that maybe been giving you a little bit of trouble, you got a toxic friend or a sick family member or something like that. You're moving into places where you're going to be able to move forward with strength and confidence and creating something out of what felt a little heavy at some point for you. Regeneration's a wonderful card to get because it means you've done all the things. You've done the things, and now you're going to start reaping those rewards.
Right. And as a little bonus, Michelle, since you got me the dragon deck, I pulled the dragon card for you. The sanctuary is what comes up. And I feel like this is just acknowledging that time you spend by yourself, that's time that you spend with spirit, that it's paying off. It's paying off, and listening to your intuition is going to be key to continuing that growth. So yay. Ooh, that was nice. Ooh, yeah. I've missed that with you. Yay. All right. So now let's do the Instagram. Let's do Instagram. All right. So start spamming away. We got a few people. We have a few people in the Instas. So let me see your dancing emojis. We'll clear the energy. And then we'll go to TikTok right after that. So Lorenda Carr Medium, if you're looking for the Instas. And the Instagram is delayed, so I have to give them a second to catch up. So I'm going to choose the first name I see in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's going to be AMBRS, Amber's 11. How's that sound? All right. I'm going to say it's Amber. I'm going to assume it's Amber because that's what it looks like on my screen. All right, let's see. What does Amber need to know? What does Amber need to know? Amber, you got the 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles comes up for you. And what this tells me is that there's a third party needs to be involved in something. There's something about it's not just you, not just another person. Maybe someone's mediating, or maybe someone's actually mentoring. There's something energy of not being afraid to ask for help in a situation. And this could be work, this could be life in general, but it feels very much like as you're stepping, it's like you're trying to progress forward. You have an idea, you've got a plan, but you need outside influence. So what do you have with that card, Dana?
I'm using the map quest, the enchanted map this time.
What's that?
And I actually got Peaks of Joy in reverse. So interesting. So Peaks of Joy, when it comes up, is exactly what it sounds like. Things are coming up roses. When we get Peaks of Joy in reverse, there's a couple of things going on here, I think. First, I think maybe you're worrying about some things or mulling over some things or procrastinating on something that's really just kind of a waste of energy for you. Peaks of Joy in reverse is talking about perspective. Maybe you need to rise up and look at the bigger picture of things that are going on in and around you. I just got the word project. So I don't know if there's something you're wanting to do, a transition you're wanting to make, a move. Maybe you're wanting to move forward in something. But it feels like you should be having a whole lot more fun with this than you are. And it's really just about perspective. Let's go back to that conversation we had, the what if, playing that what if game. Are you saying what if? Are you saying, but what if this doesn't work? What if I'm wrong? What if and then say, what if it's amazing? What if it just grabs you by the heart and by the bones and pulls you into something that you never thought was possible? That one little change in perspective is going to open up opportunities for you that you can't even see yet.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what this is about. It's the opportunity for that growth and not being afraid to ask for the help, not being afraid to listen to that outside perspective on things, like us.
Yeah.
We're the outside perspective.
Yeah.
We're awesome. So awesome. Thank you, Amber, for participation.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for letting us read for you. This is so exciting.
Sure. I know. All right. So we're going to go to the Tiki Talks. And by the way, over on Facebook, Michelle said, wow, spot on. Thank you.
Yippee.
I want to make sure that the people on the, all right. So we're going to the Tickety Talks. You guys ready? Everybody's like, okay, next. We're going to be pulled up on everybody's app, on all the apps all at once. Give them the chance to come back and drop your dancing ladies over there.
Good little.
Right. All right. So they're spamming away. I'm going to pick someone in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Tina. Oh, she's one of my regulars. All right. Let's see. What card does Tina get? Tina's getting the 2 of Cups. This is about relationships. It's about interpersonal relationships. And it's about meeting someone where they are. And spending time with people who fill your cup, who can match your energy. This could be actual love relationship, or this could be our friendships as well. But this does feel very emotionally connected and really thinking about going eye to eye or toe to toe, full cup to full cup, coming into a relationship or into a conversation where someone's matching your energy. And let's see what Dana gets with that.
So I had to pull Shaman's Dream because it was talking to me.
Talking to you. I love it.
And we got, look at the back of this card. Isn't that lovely?
That's pretty.
We got mini masks, and mini masks is about the authentic self. So this is to say that sometimes we are in a place, a situation, you don't yell in the library kind of situation, or we can use our outside voices because we're at Six Flags kind of a situation. So we all, regardless of where we are, what we're doing, whether at work or at home, we're with friends that we trust, we're meeting new people, whatever it is, still need to really be authentic. And when many masks comes up, this is asking you to really reach down in your heart of hearts and ask yourself, is this what I want? Am I willing to work for it? And does it feel scary to be honest about it? Because when it feels scary to be honest, we're not being authentic. And when we're not being authentic, we put up all kinds of barriers and roadblocks and obstacles that seem reasonable.
Right.
So with this one, we get the mini mask card is saying, you be you, because amazing things are going to happen. I'm not getting a sense of urgency with this. So I don't feel like you got to do this right now, you're going to miss a window. I think this is something that you need to work on and practice on. That it's not necessary for you to be all things to all people. It's necessary for you to be who you are in order to attract the people that you connect with, and situations. I kind of use people and situations the same. But with many masks, being your most authentic self is going to get you exactly what you're working toward, exactly what you're wanting in your heart of hearts and the dreams of dreams and the things you think about when nobody's listening are all within your reach, as long as you remember to put out into the universe what you want to come back to you.
Yeah. And she says she's on vacation with family right now, and she's been working on being authentic.
Good girl.
And so the card that I pulled, just as a fun little supplement here, is the Harmony card. And I feel like, yes, these relationships are important, but it's also important for you to, I think when we are, especially if you're with extended family, I think we tend to look at even I look at my kids differently because I've known them their whole lives, forgetting that they're whole ass human adults now, that they have lives outside of me that I don't know everything about them. So I think it's important for you to continue showing up as your authentic self and being in harmony with yourself and in alignment with yourself.
And I just have to add, the minute you said that she's on vacation, that Amber's on vacation with her family, I opened up my deck and I got humor. Because there are some things you just gotta.
Yep. The relationship with myself is so important too. So yeah, good job, Tina. Look, there you go, girl. Stepping into that energy of it. Early in the year, like right after first of the year, we did a whole episode on, and Tina shows up. She's here every week. She's one of my faithful people. We had a whole conversation about authenticity and all that, and having a theme for the year of the energy that we're working on. So she says she really appreciates us, and she's very thankful for this. Yay!
Thank you.
Love it. Okay, so let's go to the tube. Let's go to the tube of the you. The tube of the you. Okay. And start dropping those dancing emojis. Okay. We're Spanish dancing today. Flamenco.
Yeah. Little Spanish guitar.
Yep. Spain is on our bucket list. Like Matt and I talked about trying to do Spain this summer, but it's really up in the air right now, you know?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're going to drop those emojis in the tube. We're doing cards right now, and if mediumship happens, it'll happen. Right now, we're doing intuitive readings. They go much faster, by the way. All right, so we're going to choose the first name in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's going to be? It's going to be just Roger. Oh, Roger, how's it going, my friend? I haven't read for Roger in a long time. Okay. Roger's just Rogering. All right, Roger. 7 of Wands. Dude, you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself. This feels, I'm not a health reader. I'm not a medical intuitive. However, it feels like standing your ground. You're really standing your ground or defending yourself somehow. And I feel like you maybe the vitamin C is going to be good. There's something about standing your ground or resisting something. And I feel like you have to really take care of yourself. What do you get? What are you getting?
I cannot believe the synchronicity from the very first one. No, because it's just look. I went back to this. I picked up the deck. A card fell out before you even pulled a card, and it's Yang. Now here's the thing. Yang is, you need to be your own best advocate. It's time for you to be a little more assertive, not aggressive, assertive. To step up to the plate. It's time for you to start really talking about what you need, doing the things you need to do, despite what anybody else has to say, despite what you've been doing in the past. If there's something and somebody says, I don't know, because there's always somebody playing devil's advocate. You know better than anybody else what you need. You know better than anybody else what you mean. People don't always understand us. They don't have to. When the Yang card comes up, it's asking you to grab the tiger by the tail, to and again, to be your own best advocate. If somebody's telling you you don't need this, or you don't want this, or you don't like that, you don't want to do that, you say, but I do. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to, whatever this thing is, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it with enthusiasm, and I'm going to do it. If you can come along or don't come along. I'll see you when I'm done, or I won't.
Right.
We don't. But yang pops up when it's time of saying, you're right. You are absolutely right. Now, what are you going to do about it?
And so he says he's got a colonoscopy on Saturday. So there's the medical part. And he says he put that in his work performance review. Can't make this stuff up. I mean,
I know.
Yeah. And you know what? I got the crown chakra for you, Roger. And I feel like this is also saying, listen to your intuition about things, and don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Take care of yourself a little bit better, because you know what? Nobody at work is going to be taking care of you. It's just you. You have to be the one to do the advocating. So you're welcome, Roger. Thanks for being. He's also another one of my regulars.
Yeah. I'd also like to say to Roger, other people's indifference or ambivalence is not a lack of respect or concern or care or love for you. It's simply outside their purview at the moment. Right. So, which is another reason why you need to kind of do it. You need to, step into whatever this is that's coming for you.
Yeah. Stand up for yourself and advocate for yourself. I keep hearing advocate for yourself. So I love that. So thank you, Roger. All right, let's head over to the Graham. We're waiting for everybody to get to Graham? Yeah, the Graham. We're going to do the Graham next.
Okay.
And there's a delay, so we'll just do. And make sure you're following me on all the things. Just saying. And you have your page, Intuitive Oracle, on the Facebook.
Yeah. On Facebook, I have a TikTok, which and an Instagram, Life Path Oracle. When I post a Life Path Oracle on Facebook, I think it goes to Instagram. I'm not sure.
I think it does too.
But the easiest way to find me is usually on Facebook, and then you can follow me elsewhere.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Oh, here we go. We got them. They're just rolling in now. We have a whole 4 people over there. What? All right. But we got all the dancing ladies. So here we go. We're going to choose one in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's it going to be? It's going to be Brianna Huff. All right. Let's do this. Brianna, you get 6 of Swords. Okay. So this tells me, Brianna, that you have made a choice, or Spirit's telling you it's time to move forward. It's time to move on from the rough waters. Don't be afraid to protect yourself as you move forward, but it is time to move on from those rough waters. And that's your right. I'm hearing it's your right to protect yourself. It's your right to move in a direction of safety, in a direction of comfort. And you don't have to be entitled. You don't have to feel like you have to earn safety. You don't have to earn happiness. You don't have to earn smooth waters by going through bad things. You can just make a choice to be like, or not. How about I just turn away from this and go towards better, happier things? What are you getting with that, Dana?
Never ending story.
What is it?
Never ending story. Never ending story is asking about, what are you doing that you've always been doing? What's the story that you're telling yourself? I think this fits perfectly. This is about that switch in perspective. Mm-hmm. Or not. Sometimes this is that card that pops up when we are allowing outside forces to influence us, maybe not quite trusting your intuition, maybe believing some things that other people have said. The things that we believe about ourselves, in Life Coach Speak, we talk about these limiting beliefs. They come from repetition. We heard it, and then we created proof to make it make sense. Never-ending story is asking you to kind of break down some of those things, let go of some of those things. Just because somebody said it from their perspective doesn't mean it's true.
Right.
You're the one that knows what's true. So when you let go of talking to yourself in a way that's anything other than kind and loving, you need to be talking to yourself the way you talk to the person you love the most. If you were to say to someone else the way you talk to yourself and envision how they would feel about it, that's how you feel about it, but it's on such a subconscious level. So this is about letting that go. You start talking to yourself the way you talk to the person that you love the most, and things are going to change for you. Things are going to open up opportunities, priorities, thought process, how you manage, coping skills, everything are going to open up in new avenues for you.
She says, I think that's about my promotion. I want it, and I'm convincing myself I'm not getting it or I don't deserve it.
Okay.
That's all.
You do deserve it.
Yep. You do deserve it.
Yes, that's well.
But also I pulled the synchronicity card with that, and that tells me you've got to be in sync and asking for what is in your greatest and highest good. Because what if that promotion is not in your greatest, highest good? I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying that what if they're going back to, I love this whole, we're going to call this whole episode, What If?
Yeah.
What if? There's synchronicities that are going to show themselves to you that if you are in alignment with that job, you'll be in alignment with it. You'll get that promotion. But it's not about, you can't convince yourself whether you deserve it or not. You deserve what's in your best and greatest, highest good. That's what I was trying to say.
And if you don't get the promotion, that little shift in perspective is something amazing is coming, something better is coming then. Mm-hmm. And then you set yourself up for that. You get ready for that. You get excited about, I didn't get that promotion, and I really wanted it, and I've worked hard for it. But oh my gosh, if I didn't get that, I know.
What's happening instead? But I think the synchronicities, listen to them. But when you go, that's so weird. I wonder why that happened. You'll be like, oh, there's something in the synchronicity, something that aligns. If you are meant to be in alignment with it, great. If not, maybe it's time to move on. Maybe it's time to move forward. Maybe it's time to move in a different direction. It's moving towards the things that are in sync with you and that are in alignment for your greatest and highest good. I love that. Okay. Let's go back to the tickety talks. Hey, Laura, good to see you. We're doing some readings. My friend Dana over on the chat thing. All right, but actually stay right here for you. You might get your hat in the ring for a reading. We're going to do the TikTok reads now. So drop a Spanish dancing emoji, the flamenco dancer, if you would like to be considered for a card or two or a reading. I'll let them do their thing. Here they come. Oh, all the dancing ladies. Da, 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 da. I love it. All right, here they come. All right, spam those away. Okay, so we're going to choose the first card that I see in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's it going to be? Shelly. All right, Shelly Bobelli. Why did I sing that? That's so 5-year-old. What the heck?
Shelly's just fun. Shelly is a fun name.
Is fun. Yes, Shelly is fun. So, Shelly, you get the Wheel of Fortune. Hello.
Oh,
that's amazing. We love a good Wheel of Fortune card.
Yeah, we do.
This tells me not only is it's like you spun the Wheel of Fate, and you're in Vegas and you've spun it, and you're just kind of waiting to see how things go, right? And I feel like this. Thank you, Lador, for doing that. I feel like this is just addressing that you have a lot of things in motion right now, and you're waiting for results. You're waiting to see something happen. And this is just sending you in the direction of good things, good fortune, good, and staying in that vibration of, again, aligning with my greatest and highest good. And that's exactly what's on point right now. So, Dana, what do you get to go with that Wheel of Fortune card?
Milk and honey.
Look at that.
Yeah, from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So milk and honey is exactly what it sounds like. What's really fun about this card is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but there's an elephant in there. So milk and honey comes when, if you stay on the trajectory that you are on right now, things are going to work out. I feel like there's a little something that has happened that you've been maybe thinking about. Was that the right thing to do? Or you're in that spot. Is this the right thing to do? I don't feel a lot of like doubt or resistance about moving forward as much as just hoping that so far you've done things right. The milk and honey heart is here to tell you that you're doing everything right. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're present. You're staying authentic and both honest and true to yourself and to other people. But when milk and honey card comes up, it means you're doing great. Keep going. The things that you are working toward and hoping for and trying to build and trying to create are going to work out. They're probably going to exceed your expectations, but you're definitely on the right path, and the result is going to be phenomenal.
And honey, I love that. It's like a little, and I got the awakening, so I feel like this might be part of your the spiritual journey as well. Hi, Paula, good to see you. And yeah, I think this is just a confirmation. Like, this is just part of that spiritual path that you've been on, that you've been asking for signs. You've been kind of stepping into asking for those signs and listening to your gut. And as you do that, you'll start seeing the results, which is Wheel of Fortune, which is that milk and honey. You're starting to reap the benefits of listening to the intuition, following what's coming in, and following the path that they'll bring to you. It definitely resonates. Thank you both. Oh, yay. I love this.
You're welcome.
All right. And then, Lorna. Hey, Lorna. All right. So now we're in Facebook, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep. So we're ready for the Facebooks. So if you're in the Facebook, it is a little lag with the Facebook also. So we're on the Facebook, Lorenda Carr Medium. And on over there. Okay. And drop your dancing emoji if you'd like to be considered for the card. It's a little bit of a delay, so we're going to chat for a second. All right. Here the emojis are coming up now. All right. So I'm going to choose the first person I see in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's going to be Kara? Awesome. Hi, Kara. Oh, hey, Kara. How are you? All right. Well, remember, we were talking about this card earlier. We got the Tower card. The Tower card is like a shock of things happening, and that feeling of things that were unexpected, that are burning down the building, but they're also clearing the path for you. And I feel like there's just like a shock of something. I feel like something unexpected just happened recently. Would that make sense? I wonder if that makes sense, Kara. What are you doing with that Tower card? And I feel like I need to lean into this a little bit more. Dana, what are you getting with the Tower card?
Oh, I went to the shaman's dream and I got resonating, which is, it's a whale song. So I think that you were getting signs and symbols and messages that you're either not hearing them, you're not recognizing them as signs and symbols, or something is making them quiet. Something is shutting it down. Like you're not believing it. But the good news is, because there's always good news, the signs and symbols are there. Your guides, your spirits, everyone who has ever loved you that has crossed over are throwing things at you right now, trying to get your attention. So the support, the guidance, the leadership that would give you confidence or reassurance or the courage to act is there. You just need to make yourself a little more open to it. And I just got the word deserve. And I will say anytime that we're getting messages that we're not hearing, it's because we've already decided that we're not made for that, or that can't be for me. That's not how things go for me. That's not what my life looks like. And it could be something so incredibly small. We may have all the confidence in the world in our jobs or with our families and in our relationships, but then have this little thing inside us that just grabs root that says, yeah, except for this, if I could just fix this. You don't need to be fixed, darling. Nothing needs to be fixed. The signs and the symbols are coming at you from all directions. And when you open to that and you allow yourself to hear that, things are going to right themselves.
Yeah. And I got the authenticity card with that. I feel like as things kind of melt down, because Kara says, sounds about right. My mind has been so loud. And Kara is one of us. She does the thing. Yeah. And she's had a lot of experiences, but I feel like when things kind of go south or when things get a little crazy, I know Kara can get in her thinking mind, but I feel like if you can step in that authenticity of trusting your spirit, I feel like this is all about trusting who you are and understanding who you are. You're going to know how to navigate this.
I have to say something. So
you go right ahead.
I had just heard recently, I don't know where I heard it. I don't like to clutter. This is finite space here, so I don't like to clutter it up too much with stuff. But I heard something recently about empaths, and that sometimes we are feeling other people's feelings and we don't even realize it. And the minute you said something about your head has been so loud right now, it just popped in my head. So it's possible here that the reason you're not seeing the signs and symbols or hearing, or maybe, feeling things in your gut like you want to, is because you've got something you need to let go of, whether it's a toxic person or situation, or you've allowed yourself to get a little overwhelmed with taking care of everyone else. Maybe you need to go a little bit inward and find that quiet space and release the energy that you're giving to other people and other situations. Just like us, we have our job to do as we do this kind of work, but then it's up to them to do that. It's almost like you've put yourself in place kind of as a shield for somebody, and we can go. There's a big difference between help and support. Help really isn't very helpful. Support is that's the teach the man to fish thing, and help is giving him a fish. So I'm getting all these pictures and images in my head, and that's the best I can do with that. But I think there's something in there that it's okay for you to stop holding this. I feel like you're holding somebody's hand, and that's what's causing the noise and preventing you from being able to hear, which is what I said originally. You're not hearing the messages because you haven't made room for them. And it's okay. You can let go of that hand. They're not going to fall down. And if they do, they'll get up.
Right. And what if they did? Yeah. What if they fall down? What if?
Yeah. That may be the lesson they need.
One of my favorite phrases, I drop a couple Dana phrases regularly still. And I always give you a shout out, even if you don't know it, is that when you stand in for somebody, or now I'm like totally losing it. By doing things for other people, you're robbing them of a lesson.
You're robbing people. We rob people of their blessings when they don't allow them to learn their lessons.
Right.
If someone wants to help you, it comes up with that too. If someone wants to help you and we say, no, I got it. But then you're out there handing out. Don't rob me of the blessing of being able to participate in this relationship.
Right. What's the other one? My other favorite thing that you have always said is like, society's a terrible parent.
Yes.
This is true. Society is a terrible parent. So, all right, we have time for one more.
They're the worst parent. I'm having to shuffle because.
You got to plug them in. That's right. We only have a couple minutes left.
Yeah.
So let's do one more. We'll do them on the tube. But what if you do succeed? Exactly, Tina. What if you do succeed? Yeah. What if? You know? All right. So on the tube of you, we're gonna do one more card pull. So everyone go to the tube, Lorenda Carr Medium, and drop your dancing emojis. Your dancing emojis. All right, drop those dancing emojis. They're also a little delayed over there too, so we'll let them do their thing. Ooh, look at that. We have all these people. We have 10 whole people.
Woohoo.
How cool is that? All right, here we go. So I'm gonna pick the first name that I see for the last reading of the day. Thanks, Tina, for being here. And 5,
thank you.
4, 3, 2, 1. First name that I see is Alicia. Ooh, look at you.
Hi, Alicia.
Alicia's been hanging out this whole time. All right. Alicia, you get the 2 of Swords. Alicia, you have the 2 of Swords. This is all about choosing a road. It's about making choices. However, it's not just the making the choice. It is getting out of, it's being able to put the blindfold on and listen to your own intuition.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's being able to make a choice. It's one thing to ask people their opinions, like, okay, what do you think about me going down this road versus this? It's one thing to get people's opinions, but in the end, you intuitively know what decision you have to make, because I do feel like you're at a crossroads with something. You're trying to balance out, you're weighing the pros and cons. I'm like, this, well, but also this, but da. And I feel like what Spirit's saying is there is no wrong road. It's just the GPS is going to reroute, but you have to listen to your own intuition on this. What are you getting with that?
From Enchanted Map, from MapQuest, intention.
Mm-hmm.
So intention pops up, and in this particular case is popping up with the 2 of Swords, in that, what do you want? And what are you willing to do to get it? What are you willing to contribute? You know, what's that saying? You take 1 step towards the gods, they'll take 10 steps towards you. Intention says you have to eat it and sleep it and breathe it and think it and love it and feel it and share it, whatever it is.
Right.
So in this case, the intention, what's your intention? What do you want? What do you want? I had mentioned before, I love Colette Baron-Reid, and when she does her vision boards, really fun. If you ever get the opportunity to take that little workshop, it's really fun. But there's things you need to do if you're going to make a vision board. And what is a vision board? It's intention. You got to know some things. You got to know, what do you want? You got to know why you want it. You got to know how it's going to contribute. But that's the crux of it. The how that's going to happen is none of your stinking business. It's not your business.
Right.
So what is your intent? You really want to know why you want it. That one is so incredibly important. And again, whatever it is, whether it's a physical, emotional, or spiritual intention, you need to know what it is and why you want it, and how are you going to use that in gratitude to turn it into something else, something bigger, and something that contributes. Right. So what are you willing to do? What's your, are you going to get up earlier? You're going to eat better? You're going to be, you're going to start talking to strangers. And please know, all of that was me. That was just me.
And I was like, no, Dana. Yeah. Well, and the last card, the card that I get with all that, to kind of wrap that up with a pretty bow, is the solar plexus, and symbolizing the confidence, personal power, embodying your own strengths, understanding how much power you actually have in these decisions. Okay, so she says, yes, learning to stay at home and not travel as much anymore. That's terrible. She says, yes, I choose to stay home and happy of the choice. It's just hard to adjust to have a homestead. I'm building it now. Love that. Okay.
Wow.
All
Wow.
right. That's big. That's big.
Yeah.
That spot on learning independence in your own way. I love that. Good for you, Alicia. Good for you. What a great example too. I mean, just, I love that. And, now you're finding that balance. You've been out there, you've done the traveling, you've done the thing, and now it's time to focus inward. We're literally going just a different route. So I love that for you.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you. Good job. Dana.
What?
This has been so fun.
I know. We need to do it more often.
I know. I really miss doing readings with you. Oh my gosh. So much. So much. And thank you guys all for those of you who've been tapping. Oh, look, we're at 100,000 up here. Tippity tap, tap, taps.
Wow.
Thank you all for being part of the conversation and encouraging each other, encouraging one another, and just hanging out, listening to Dana and myself. Make sure you're following her Life Path Oracle. I'd like to see us do more of these fun things together.
Me too. I think we should do it every couple of months just for grins.
Yeah, I think that we never, I don't think there's been ever a time that we've just not had a good time.
I don't think we've ever had one that didn't hit. We're definitely, we're a power couple.
We are. I love it. I just love you.
And I want to say thanks to everybody too. It was just and to Lorenda as well. It's just a pleasure to be here. It's so much fun for me. And I do not take for granted what a gift it is to be able to read. So I am so grateful to you for allowing me to participate in this and just allowing me to read for you, because it's a blessing to me as well. So I'm just really grateful and excited, and I hope we get to do it again.
Yep. Well, thank you, Dana, so much.
Thank you.
All right. So here's what's going to happen. Dana, stay there.
Okay.
Don't move. I'm going to do my queenly outro. And then I'll pop you back in. So just hang tight here. And thank you all in the Tickety Talk world and in the Instagram world, the Facebook, the tubes, and all that. You guys are the best. I appreciate you showing up with me every Thursday. Next week, I'm not sure what I'm doing next week. I'm thinking of it, but Monday Night Mania, we've got Reverend Todd on. Todd Leonard. He owns the Bang Sisters house at Camp Chesterfield. We're going to be talking about the seance that we had back in September.
Cool.
Oh, it was wild. It was wild. So that'll be Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. He'll be on, and we're going to be doing that thing. And special announcement, on March 18th, we're going to be doing a live on TikTok, possibly, it's going to be on TikTok for my students. My students are going to come on and do readings. And that's the first time I've ever, of all this time I've been teaching, it'll be the first time we've ever done that. So tune in. You might end up getting a free reading. Share. I'll tell your friends. So, all right. Thank you all for being part of this, and we'll see you on Monday. All right.
Your time in the realm of the crowned medium is cherished. Her Highness Lorenda Carr encourages you to like, subscribe, comment, and follow on all channels to stay updated on new episodes and offerings.